weird.
Oh, am I streaming to the right profile?
Who knows?
Oh, I hope I am. And you know what else I
Oh,
should do? I should probably go to... Dun, dun, dun,
looks like
dun.
this looks like it's still got the same name as you had on it last, like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, GMB
I
stream.
don't think yeah, you didn't rename it.
No, I didn't, did I?
Well, daggone.
I know. What on earth was I thinking?
Easier moderation. Got it. Dr. Z's already here.
Woohoo! Welcome, Dr. Z.
Dr. Z
Okay,
bears
so
a
Bear
tard,
here,
just in
if
case
that's
you
the
were wondering.
case, and let's
So.
do a
Whoa.
quick review.
That was...
I mean, he probably came in and saw the face.
No, he didn't see no face.
I'm pretty sure he saw your face.
Why are you frozen?
Why am I frozen?
Yeah, it showed that you were frozen there for a moment. Okay, I fixed it.
Yeah,
I think I know why.
I still look for. I mean, I'm watching the restream or the stream right now, and I'm still frozen. Oh, there it is. Now I am back.
Yeah. This is
Hey,
episode
look, you can see my camera in the background.
22, 23 now, isn't it?
It's 22 because I didn't officially do a RecycleBin last week. I just did like a
Oh, okay.
stream of here's the new crappy closet that I'm working from.
And I didn't officially do one 2 weeks ago either. It was just me and Gray. We just kind of got together, hung out on air for a bit. So.
Yeah, so we've basically had 2 weeks off from doing the actual RecycleBin.
Yep.
So.
Well, you were moving 2 weeks ago. What was I doing a week ago? Oh my, right, Wolf's birthday.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been an eventful couple of weeks. Man, it's just really awkward positioning for this camera. Like, I feel like I'm not going to look at it at all because I feel weird looking at it. Anyways.
Dr. Z wants to know how the room's doing.
It's good. It gets a little warm. Like, Bear and I have already been on a call for like half an hour now, and like my face is a little flushed. Like I'm feeling warm already. So I've actually got. So I'll show you guys. I've actually got 2 Noctua fans on some 4-pin PWM extensions outside the case, hooked up to the splitter that the radiator fans are on, so that I can try and keep cool. They're blowing air on me right now, and it's not helping that much. So. Yeah, that's a window. It's actually to my right, but yeah, on camera it would look to left, I guess. Yeah, exactly. PC fans. Yep. I'm all about the the ghetto cooling solutions. So ghetto personal coolers. But yeah, no. There's a window. This is kind of a crazy walk-in closet. There's a window in here and a light, but then there's no power outlets. I actually have to run an extension cord and a power line Ethernet from within my bedroom into the closet in order to get power and network to the computer. So it's interesting. I still gotta figure out the lighting in here for recording and for streaming, but yeah, definitely been good so far.
Good.
So of course we can't miss the big news that Bear is now at 200 subs, right?
Yeah. 200, 200 subs.
Yeah, you picked up that roll to 200 really quick.
I'm really surprised at just 200. Like I said last time when I hit, what was it, 128? Wow, that wasn't that long ago now that I think about it.
Nope.
But when I hit 128 subs, I was like, I never expected to hit 128. I said then, as I'm saying now, I wasn't never expecting to go past 25 in reality. I was expecting for one or two things to happen. Either a lack of interest to continue making videos of this, but I really do have a passion for computers, PCs, etc., and I really like to take a PC case, build in it, and then share the experience of what was good and bad with that case, so that other people can learn what that case would be like for them if they buy it. So 200 subs, and I'm still astounded and just wowed. So thank you for everyone who has subbed. I must be doing something right.
Yeah, I mean, definitely just like since you know, when I first saw your channel and been, you know, kind of checking out your videos and stuff, you can see that, you know, improvement over time. So
Right.
it's definitely, you know, well earned.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, it's it's the same thing for you as well. You know, we both came from a place and we're both growing and learning and figuring out
Yep.
both things that we like, things that work well for us, and so it's awesome.
Yeah, I hit cycles where I stagnate pretty well, and my problem is I suffer from what I feel like I could call, we'll call it Jerry syndrome, where I'll get really motivated and I'll like be really good and on top of it for like a couple weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I get distracted by the rest of life and
Yep.
just dead to, you know, the internet for a couple of weeks.
Yep. And that's how I am
So,
though. You know, and just
yeah.
back when like Tech Talk was around, you know,
Hmm.
this, you know, every now and then this is kind of it for staying out on the internet, but you know, it's for me. If I had a much better income, I'd probably be doing more.
Right.
But hey, you know, quick plug to my Patreon. If you do want to support to get more cases going through, go to my Patreon.
Yep.
You know. So yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. I think two things though occurred. I had two big spikes in my channel's lifetime. Oh, thanks for linking that.
Yeah, no problem.
So one of the big spikes was the Paul and Kyle.
It's not creating a link though. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
Oh
talk
no,
over you.
it's fine. It has to have the HTTPS in front of it.
Does it?
It
Okay.
does. Yeah.
Such a tard. Okay, go
No,
ahead.
no, it's
Sorry.
fine. I didn't know that until I tried it myself.
Right.
So, um, so one of the big spikes was during their awesome hardware. They
Right.
see, yep. They shouted out my channel on their awesome hardware, and it's funny because I even said, "Hey, don't shout me out," you know.
Yeah.
But that was a spike, and then the second spike I got, which is more recent, was Cooler Master France retweeted a picture of me building in the Cooler Master Master Case Pro 5 with my
Hmm.
cat in it. And then
Yeah.
a couple weeks later, Cooler Master picked up that picture, retweeted it, didn't give me any credit. I found it while scrolling through my feed. I'm like, that's my cat. That's my room.
Yeah.
You know. And
Yeah.
Cooler Master then put it onto their Facebook and gave me credit, and that was another spike.
Yeah.
So smaller
I think that
spike.
the biggest thing that helps you is that you like focus in on like a topic. You
Hmm.
know, your main focus is the cases, and that's again part two of, I guess, Jerry syndrome for me is I try and like I do all kinds of random stuff.
Hmm.
So that's what we were talking about before the stream. I'm gonna work on here in the next couple of weeks, kind of probably rebranding, but definitely kind of re tweaking kind of my content
Right.
and trying to focus it more on really tech, is which is what I started the channel for in the beginning, was purely just to focus on tech and mainly hardware.
Yeah.
Um, because you know it's kind of computer hardware, PC hardware has always been like my first love in the, you know, the tech industry.
Yep.
And more so, you know, trying to get value for your money, because you know, you kind of hit the nail on the head, but you know, well, if I had a better paying job, you know, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
And you know, that's been the constant struggle for me. I'm sure you and most, you know, PC gamers, PC tech enthusiasts. It's, you know, the money struggles, right? So what I kind of want to try and focus on is doing the getting the most value for your money out of your PC hardware. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. Actually, speaking somewhat of that, I'm gonna probably like overstretch my shirt here
Uh,
because I'm a big old fatty.
I was gonna
Um,
say. Go ahead though.
I do have two, one, two, right? I don't know how well these will frame in.
Oh wow.
1050 Ti's. So I've had these
Identical.
for a little while. Yep, exactly identical. Ordered them both off Amazon at the exact same time, and so I'm totally going to be idea thief, and I'm going to steal Jay's 2 cents video that he just did on doing two exact of the same 1050s,
Yeah,
and he tested them back to back. He was doing two under $500 PC builds, doing AMD versus Intel,
that's
and
right.
he bought two identical 1050s, and he found out that the biggest performance gap between the two computers was actually due to a performance gap in the 1050s, where they had different ASIC qualities. So
Gotcha.
I was curious to see, well, I've got two basically identical 1050 Ti's, and his theory was that the lower end of the chips, which really makes sense if you think about it, the lower end of the chips are going to have a more likelihood of having that variance because they typically are the less bend chips than say like a 1080 or 1080 Ti.
Right.
So I was like, well, I've got the next step up from a 1050. I have two identical 1050 Ti's. Maybe I should do some testing and do a video talking about that.
Nice.
I mean, obviously, I'll
Yeah.
mention that I'm completely ripping off Jay, but
So I got, well, like you're saying, I do focus on things like cases.
right.
But recently I let my friend, which one? I let my friend borrow my MX4 Arctic thermal paste.
Okay. Yeah.
And while he had it, I'm like, oh man, I need some thermal paste, and I bought some, but it was the MX2. Now, the MX4 is $2 more than the MX2, and I'm like, why is there a price difference for that? And, so I want to, I'm going to apply both of these, one at a time, of course, to my CPU and just let benchmarking run and see if there's any temp difference between the two of them. So, that's my plan.
Cool. Yeah.
One video plan. And then
Yeah.
variant things. This thing back here is actually now going through being modded.
Oh, is that
It's
oh,
the
crap.
Deep Cool D
The
Shield.
deep cool.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So
I kept trying to say thermal take, but no, it wasn't thermal take.
yeah.
It was another cheap brand. Um.
So you might notice that
Yeah.
this isn't an actual
I
PSU
actually
cover.
really like. Yeah. It's just was it cardboard?
No, actually, it is high impact polystyrene. It is
Oh,
a
okay.
plastic, is really
Yeah.
durable plastic. So I have two sheets of 0.125 millimeters.
Mhm.
So, and that's going to be where I put a SFX PSU and the Xbox 360 PSU, because I'm going to put
Right.
a 360 in there with a couple of computer fans.
Cool.
And maybe LEDs.
I was gonna say I do actually really like Deep Cool.
Uh-huh.
Like some of their products. I actually use their Captain EX 240 White in my main PC build.
That's right, you do.
Yeah, so it's been a good cooler so far. My temps are a little higher than I think they should be, but I think I mean, well, I know that has more to do with my case,
Mm-hmm.
because the Fintex P400 has like no front ventilation. So like if I'm rendering a lot of times, like if I'm doing a render in Premiere or something, I'll pull the front cover off of the case,
Okay.
because then like all of a sudden temps will go down like 10 degrees C.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Well, I do want to address real quick. Dr. Z asked about me doing room updates
Oh, yeah.
over time. I definitely do, and I did reply in chat, but I do plan on doing at least one update once I get my organization down a little bit more pat in here, and maybe try and figure out how to get some ventilation in here. So I am just renting this house, so I can't do too much. I can't go too crazy. But definitely once I get things organized better, get some more like decorations, like I'll actually do a real quick flip around here. So I had, whenever we were moving, I found a bunch of old, hopefully you guys can see that pretty well, Dragon Ball Z and Digimon cards, and I have some Pokemon cards and all that kind of stuff, just from way back in the day. And so I went ahead and took some painter's tape and just started sticking, some of the ones that I liked to the wall. I may end up doing some more stuff like that, but
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, it might be
So
time
should
for
I
me
go
to
ahead?
update that guy back there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like him. I do.
Yeah.
So, at my dad's house, where I originally got the Destiny poster, I had the the closet doors where when you pull them, they're like two separate doors, but then they'd fold in half, which is why
Right.
that was cut in half. And then when we moved here, it's like, well, it's cut in half, so let's put it on something where there's halves, and it works.
Right. Um, yeah, I was gonna say we should probably go ahead and jump into Part Picker Challenge. We're already 15 minutes in.
And we haven't even talked about the PC Park Picker Challenge. God, Dr. Zipucci must be very upset with us. So upset with us. I bet you're right
So
now.
spoiler alert: there's not much of a challenge this week
Nope.
because
I
realized after the fact.
Yeah.
I realized after the fact that the challenge that we came up with was basically impossible. The challenge was to come up with $1,000 profitable within 3 months mining rig.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge kind of had to be at that point just profitable and sometime eventually.
How did I do this?
So I guess we can go ahead and go over real quick. So anybody who's watching who's new, PC Park Picker Challenge was proposed by Dr. Zipucci. And basically what we do is each week we come up with a challenge and present that challenge on the stream. And the rules are our parts must be compatible, they must have price and availability, and they cannot include mail-in rebate. Again, part of why this was really hard to do. Moving my face. Why this was really hard to do with the rules we had set, because our PC Part Picker rules require price and availability, but on PC Part Picker you can't find PCIe risers on there as a native part. You have to add them in as custom parts.
Right.
And then each week, you, the audience, votes on which build you like the best. You have a week to vote, and on the next stream, we announce the winner. So last week's challenge was a $600 esports full build. So PC monitor, headset, keyboard, mouse, and I don't know if you pulled up the straw poll for that, Bear.
Oh, last week's? No, I pulled up. There we go. All right. $600 esports full build challenge, and the results. One vote for me. Check that IP. See where it came from. I don't even remember that build. It was so long ago.
I know, it was like 3 weeks ago now. Dr. Z said in the chat, Barry, you okay? Your face expression.
I don't know which face expression he's talking about, because by the time he sees us,
yeah,
you know,
I know.
It's gone and done.
Before the stream, the string of faces you were making before we went live.
Oh yeah, he never saw that.
yeah, no, I know. That's just why it made me laugh, because I was sure you were making one of those faces. I wasn't paying attention to the stream, so I didn't see it. Yeah, so the challenge was, like I said, $1,000 profitable within 3 months mining rig. We were going to use NiceHash to calculate these values, and so basically what happened was I started looking into it, and I messaged Bear. I was like, dude, this is impossible. There's no way. And Pirate Bear is back. There was no way that we could possibly do this in the rules that we had set. So what I did was I put together a build, and again, PC Part Picker has limitations where I couldn't really do this. When Dr. Z said when you were fixing my camera.
Oh.
So you can't put multiple GPUs in if they don't support SLI, and the motherboard doesn't have more than X number of 16X slots, and yada yada yada, because of compatibility checker. So for this mining rig, these are all the parts that I would pick, including the riser cables here, and then you would just multiply the GTX 1050 cards by 5 for this build, so you'd be under 1,000. You would actually be. Oh, I didn't open the sheet that I had. So your total system cost with the risers would be about $820, and with that, your monthly estimated revenue would be about $70. So
is this in your cryptocurrency currency sheet?
Yeah.
Should I pull that up?
Yeah, go and pull that up, and I'll go ahead and kind of walk through the methodology on that real quick, and how I put that together. So this is just for anybody who's interested in trying to build your own entry-level mining rig. Now, the thing to keep in mind here is that the 1050 is going to provide, out of everything that I researched, is going to provide the quickest ROI on return on investment on a full system build. So, like you see the 1050 here, cost of $113. The nice hash calculator shows profitability after electricity costs, and this was just assuming the default 10 cents per kilowatt hour of $14.17. So that's per month. So at that price, if you were just buying the GPU, you already had a system built, you're just going to buy the GPU, you would ROI on that in just under 8 months. And you can see here from the spreadsheet as you go down the list for GPU only ROI, it is the fastest ROI, which means as you scale up, it'll generally stay the same. It'll still ROI the fastest. So, and you can see here, each one I did different number of GPUs to try and keep it under 1,000. The only one I went over 1,000 on was the GTX 1070. But the GTX 1050 with 5 GPUs on it gets you at a full system cost of $810, and you would still ROI on it within 11 months, in less than a year. And so you see the gaps seem to close a bit here, I guess you could say. They're all within, a month or two of each other on a full system build. But then you start going up, so if you want to do like a 1080 Ti, it has the best profitability for just a single card by itself. But by the time you figure doing a full system build and trying to stay up under $1,000, again, the highest profitability under $1,000 is the 1050. If you can spend about $1,100, the 1070 rig with two 1070s will actually get you about $84 per month. And that should be, again, after electricity costs, according to the NiceHash mining calculator. So I will actually go ahead and post a link to the mining calculator if anybody's interested in checking out. If you have current hardware, so you already have a 1070 or a 570, 580, whatever. CryptoCrunchy. I don't know. Did I typo something somewhere? Or I'm not sure where the CryptoCrunchy's coming from.
Nor do I. Cryptocurrency. Yeah, I don't see crunchy. Maybe you said it interesting. Maybe it came across.
Yeah, probably. I tend to be a bit of a mush mouth when I'm talking.
You know, it's like the one time I said happy sister to your birthday. Happy sister to your birthday, then.
So I threw the profitability calculator into the chat there. It actually gives you profitability calculators for CPU and GPU. So if anybody's interested in checking that out, if anybody wants to try and dip their toes in cryptocurrency mining, this is what I recommend: is basically taking a look at how much the GPU would cost, find out a base system. So on the PC part picker list, you see for a mining rig, I went with a basic Celeron dual core processor because you don't need a ton of processing power to do a GPU mining rig.
Nope.
BioStar has a specific BTC Bitcoin basically geared motherboard, so it has a bunch of PCI 1X slots, and then 4 gig of DDR4 because again you don't need a ton of memory, 250 gig hard drive because you don't need a ton of storage. Just want to get as many graphics cards as you can get. I did the EVGA Supernova 750 watt power supply because it'll have plenty of power for running 5 1050s on this system. And then of course the 1X to 16X riser cards so that you can throw these into a milk crate or something like that. I don't have a case on here because you don't really want to run them in a case.
No.
You want to make sure that you run them. And so the other benefit to the 1050s is you can kind of cheap out on the power supply somewhat. Quote unquote cheap out. You don't have to get power supplies with a ton of PCI Express power connectors because 1050s only run off motherboard power. So. But yep, that's basically all I've got for that.
All right.
For the so we've got to come up with a challenge for next week, Bear.
Can we make it something that we can actually do?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, just throwing it out there.
Alright, so we'll have a $10,000 budget, and we're going to target playing Half-Life 2 at 720p.
I don't even... What, Half-Life? Oh my gosh. Half-Life, really? In 720p?
Yeah, yeah, 10 grand.
So I can go
I
out
think
and
we can
buy
do that.
myself a bag of, like, Pringles
Potatoes?
and throw it into the computer and call it good?
Yeah, just buy a sack of potatoes,
Mm-hmm.
and then just cram a random CPU in them, and
Yeah.
then cram a random GPU. It doesn't matter. You
It'll all
pick it
just
up
be
off the
plugged into
floor.
the potato.
Yes, yeah. Plug it all into the potato, and then
And then
this
reach for the
potato would
stars.
actually this potato would actually do pretty well.
Oh, that is a great potato.
Yeah. This was brand new, if I remember correctly, a $350 potato,
Jeez.
because I bought it brand new way back in the day. That was back when I, had just started going to college, and
Yeah.
I was still living at home. It was in my first year of college. I had all kinds of money because, I worked full time, went to school full time,
Mm-hmm.
had no bills. Anyways, enough digressions. So challenge. What are we gonna do for a challenge? Um,
um,
hmm,
let's make Dr. Z says check Twitter. What are we checking Twitter for?
hmm.
Tell me what's on Twitter.
Oh my goodness.
What? Who?
Well, I went to Twitter, and the first thing I see is Barnacules with his shirt off and a bunch of like weird cat ears. Oh my god. Okay. I don't know why
Look
I,
away.
I have no
Oh,
more eyeballs.
Dr. Z just pinged us 2 minutes ago. Oh, he retweeted us.
Oh.
He retweeted our stream.
Oh, cool.
Thank you, Dr. Z.
I'm not finding it in my feed, but oh well. If I go to your feed. Oh, come on, Twitter. Click the link. There's a link apparently.
Who's saying that?
That's what Dr. Z just said. He said click the link.
I said it. I said crypto crunchy. Crypto crushy.
Oh, yeah, apparently you said Crypto Crunchy.
See, it had to be me. Happy sister to your birthday, crypto crushy.
Oh, man. Alright, so we'll come back to the challenge. We should probably start coming up with these before the stream.
Yeah.
That's how we end up with terrible challenges like the one we did today. So, for the first discussion today, it's very controversial.
Mm-hmm.
It has split people across the world. It's torn families apart. Put countries into war. And Paul and Kyle touched on it on Tuesday on Awesome Hardware. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen Kyle's awesome GIF of him playing Russian roulette with that bottle, just go to Twitter.
Oh my god.
And pull up the GIF search and search Kyle fail. It'll be like the second result. It's been clipped on Twitch like 1,000 times. It happened on the Twitch side of the stream because it happened between their halves, and it was awesome. If you haven't seen it, look it up, watch it. It's amazing. It's possibly the funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I have never seen. If you're familiar with Paul's hardware at all, you'll know that he's a pretty even keel, even tone guy all the time, and he explodes into hysterical laughter. It's insane.
He broke.
And didn't he break his phone or something with it? Yeah.
Oh no, I think he just broke in laughter, Paul.
Oh no, yeah. Well,
yeah.
Kyle was saying that his phone's been on the fritz the whole time, and then this week he spilled the beer all over his. Did you get the clip in there?
Yeah, I got the clip.
Yeah. This week he spilled beer all over his laptop. So.
That's right, he did. So now there's alcohol smell over in Paul's studio, and now in Kyle's new studio.
Yep.
Office studio.
So anyways, back to what I was saying before. The controversial topic that they touched on was the .gif file extension and how it's pronounced. Is it a G or is it a J? Is it a GIF or a GIF? So
Right up
that is the controversy that... Controversy? Okay, you're not the only one, Bear. That's the controversy that we need to talk about.
Controversy? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So, there's a straw poll. I will post it in the chat. And we need to vote on this and determine who is correct. The GIF camp or the GIF camp? Bear, what camp are you on? Our options are G, J, so GIF or GIF, don't know, don't care, and potato.
God, GIF, GIF, don't know if, don't care if, potato if. That is hard. I'm gonna go with potato.
Potato?
Potato.
Oh, can't take potato.
Oh, fine, then I'll take don't care.
Well, you, sir, are just a sack of flaming dog crap.
No, I'm a potato. Potato.
It is a GIF.
GIF with a J?
It is a GIF. That's a G. GIF.
It is. It's a G. It's a G, guys. It's a GIF.
It's a
GIF.
It's not a GIF. It's not a GIF. It's a GIF. So.
GIF is just someone who's too lazy to go g.
Alright, so everybody go vote. Everybody being Dr. Z because he's probably the only one watching. But
I don't care. I voted.
Did you vote?
I did.
Right,
Who voted?
I'm voting too. Yeah. We're the only 2 votes.
Someone voted potato.
I thought that was you.
No, I voted GIF.
Okay, so Dr. Z must have voted potato then.
He must have. I knew potato was the right answer. I should go back and change my vote. Can I vote potato? No, I can't. My vote's already been counted.
So now that,
potato should win.
Yeah. Now that potential civil war has been averted, so we talked at some point in the past, because it's been forever since we did this show, about HTC trying to possibly sell off a part of its business. Now, nobody was sure if it was going to be them selling off the Vive department, if it was going to be them selling off the phone business. Dr. Z's calling for a recount. But nobody was really sure what, was going to happen here, but there was rumors that HTC was going to have some sort of sell-off. Well, apparently what happened was Google bought 2,000 employees from HTC's engineering side for smartphones. They actually paid $1.1 billion to do this. So, that being said, HTC is saying they're not, the official statement from HTC is that they're not going to give up the phone game. This $1.1 billion is going to go to help investment. They still have 2,000, of what they call, 2,000 of the best engineers in the industry still working for them. They say they've got $1.1 billion now to invest in their phone technologies as well as to invest into their Vive business. So they're kind of playing this as a win-win situation for everybody. But again, this is definitely a win for Google, because this is instead of having to go through HTC or Motorola or someone else to manufacture, say, their Pixel phone. Like the Pixel phones are manufactured by HTC, they're just branded as Pixel. So instead of having to go through these other manufacturers, they may be trying to go ahead and kind of get their own hold on their own hardware and be able to control that in their own warehouse or in their own manufacturing facility. So it's definitely a win for Google. So the question here is HTC's smartphone business toast? I just realized I don't grammar. I don't think I can edit this. No, I cannot edit.
What don't you grammar?
Is HTC's smartphone business is toast?
Business is. You know what? At least it's not happy sister to your birthday.
So our options on this poll, Bear,
Yes.
are yep, extra crispy. No, this is only the beginning. And they still make smartphones?
Wait, you put a poll in there?
Yeah. I just threw it in the chat too.
Okay, now I gotta pull this up. Dun, 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 dun.
On the article, by the way, I didn't put the article. It's from PC World. Brad Chacos is the one who reported on this from PC World. So, Bear, what do you think?
I think they're fine. I really do. I think they're fine because I think that, well, I don't have to say why yet, do I?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, give me reasoning.
I think they're fine. They're a huge company. They're integrated everywhere. Sure,
Right.
they, you know, if they stay with the smartphone as it is, you know, Google buys their phones, rebrands it, and I don't know. It's just, it's hard to imagine HTC just disappearing.
Right.
At the very least, downgrade, you know?
Right.
But, or source out.
So, Bear, no, you're wrong. They're toast. They're extra crispy, in fact.
Oh.
HTC has been on a downward trend for years. At the beginning of the Android, heyday, they were on top. They were top of the game. They were kind of, one of the first to come out with an Android phone. They were the go-to for an Android phone in like 1.0 days. But now, most people probably don't even know of an HTC phone. They probably couldn't name one. So I'm gonna say that they're done. Their phone business has been trimming downhill. They've stopped putting as much work into their own devices and started putting work into other people's devices, like Google. You opened up your developer tools on Chrome.
Yeah.
And so clearly that means that you're wrong because you don't know what you're doing with Chrome.
Thanks, I guess.
It just really distracted me, so I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
And you're fine. I had to think of something stupid to say. But no, I mean, HTC has been on a downward spiral in the phone business. Everybody, you said HTC is too big. They're not going to go anywhere. They're still all over the place. They're such a big player in the market. That's what people said about BlackBerry once. And now look what's happening. They don't even make their own devices anymore. They license the BlackBerry name out to third parties to manufacture their devices.
Yeah.
So I think HTC should give up on smartphones. They should just burn that business to the ground and invest all that money into Vive. Speaking of which, did you see the I can't remember what it's called now, but the Vive standalone headset? It's gonna run Google's Daydream VR experience software stuff thing. Yeah, I saw that and then I just remembered it. I've completely oh god. I just looked at chat. I'm sorry. Dark Zipucci said finger looking good. Because my response is
HTC phone, finger looking good.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to pull up the article for the standalone VR headset. Okay, well I didn't find the article, but I found HTC's page on it. And I still don't see what they're calling it. I know it has a name. On here it just says standalone VR though. Yeah, they haven't put the name on their site yet, but there was a... Oh, Vive Focus. That's what it was. So I just grabbed the first site that actually had it. This is trustedreviews.com. So there's that. So if you want to read a little bit of information on that.
And you got it from where?
Trustedreviews.com. I just posted it in the chat.
Trusted Reviews.
This was by Sean Keach, it looks like.
Okay.
Posted this article. Yeah, so... Okay. Yeah, there you go. That's the first result there. Okay. Um, yeah. So there you have it. They're coming out with the standalone. So again, I think they need to focus their business model on the Vive and bring VR. If they can bring something more like especially if they can bring some more like AR stuff in, like bring something to compete with HoloLens, because HoloLens is like $3 or $5 grand. I don't even remember now. Stand by. I'll be right back, Bear.
Okay.
You talk for a minute.
All right, I'll talk. I don't know what he wants me to say. I have no idea. Anyways, this is the first I'm hearing of the Vive Focus here. And, did he just get a delivery to his... Did you just get a delivery to your closet office?
Yep, I just got delivered to my closet. So,
all right, you guys, share. What did you get? What did you get?
If anybody follows me on Twitter, if you don't, you should, because.
And why are you getting it so late at night?
No, I didn't literally just get a delivery. I've had this at my house for a couple of days. You know, this HoloLens device here costs such a large, egregious amount of money that it's a good thing that I work for a company that makes a lot of money. And then they have a group that wants to buy all this new fancy stuff and doesn't know how to use it, and so they come to me for help.
You're not under NDA for that, right?
No, it's...
Okay, cool.
I'm under nothing. No, this is an enterprise
commercial
version of it.
Right,
yeah,
right.
No,
sorry. I know that you also have another product that you're currently...
Yeah. I have the most I can say, I think, is, and hopefully this isn't too much, well, yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to say which company it's from a certain company that produces PC products. I have tested a pre-production model of something related to VR.
An AR?
Talk about VR. Sorry, VR.
VR, not AR?
VR. Yeah, no, not AR.
Okay.
Well, it could be AR. It depends on what you do. I can't. Anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I've tested it. I can't talk about it because I can't say anything until I get the final production version to test.
Mm-hmm.
This was here's the pre-production model. Give us some feedback and let us know, what sucks about it and what we need to fix.
Nice.
And so again, one of the benefits of my job is I get to work with vendors, and I manage to talk to people, and I keep harassing people until they send me cool stuff, and then I give them feedback and they like my feedback, and then they send me more cool stuff. So
that's good.
It's just unfortunate that a lot of it's for my company, and so I don't really get a chance or don't have much time with it. Like when I had that pre-production model, I only had it for 2 weeks. I ended up being sick for like an entire week of that. But yeah, sometimes I have limited time with some of these things. So even if I wasn't under NDA for it, I wouldn't be able to make a video.
Right.
Sad days. But anyways, the other thing that I ended up getting my hands on, if you follow Barnacules at all, you'll recognize this, or if you just know anything about Microsoft products.
Paperweight.
What's that?
Paperweight.
Yeah, Paperweight. Basically, I got a Surface laptop. It's the poor people version. So Barnacules got the i7 model, and he's been posting about it on Twitter. Mine for work just showed up. It's a device that I was asked to test that I told them was stupid to test, but they told me to test it anyways. So you can see there, it's the i5 model. I'll probably do an unbox and first impressions video with it, and run some benchmarks and stuff, and I'll probably throw some stuff up there comparing it to my daily driver HP X360 Elite laptop. But yeah, Dr. Z, it's Surface laptop, not a Surface Pro, but yeah. So I mean, it's not anything really exciting. It's Microsoft running outdated port technology on a device that, I don't know, just really needs a actual refresh, and to stop getting different form factors with the exact same ports.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep.
They should get rid of the super proprietary Surface port the Surface Power Adapter,
So
and just make it Type C.
basically, in my mind, the Surface laptop is nothing more but a Surface 4 with a hard attached keyboard.
I think it's still overall, it may be about the same thickness as that. It's definitely thinner than the Surface Book. Surface Book's actually pretty thick when you look at the side view comparisons. And the biggest difference is that this ships with Windows 10 S on it, which will only run Windows Store apps. You can upgrade it to Windows 10 Pro, and again, because this is for corporate testing, after I do my personal testing on it this weekend, I'm going to take it back to work, and I'm going to load a enterprise image on it. So, yeah, by default, out of box,
Just rolling my eyes.
Yeah, you can only run Windows Store apps. Again, for right now until the end of this year, I think until December 31st, to upgrade to Windows 10 Pro on these devices is free. After that, it's $50 to upgrade to be able to have a full version of Windows on there.
Gotcha.
Alright. So anyways, not to dilly-dally on topics too much that weren't in the list to begin with. Let's talk about PUBG.
PUBG!
More specifically, let's talk about people trying to copy PUBG.
PUBG!
So, this is from Polygon. Chris Plant is the one who... hold on, I just realized this both videos look like they make a case. What?
What?
I'm so confused. So Chris Plant posted this article, and this is Fortnite is going to have a Battle Royale mode added into it.
Video feed looks like it makes a case?
Yeah, I'm really not sure.
Elaborate. Keep going, though, Johnny.
Yeah.
Onward, good sir.
So, and honestly, I didn't end up reading this, to be perfectly... I didn't have time when I was getting this doc put together, like right before we started the stream. I forgot to read through this article. But I did read something earlier today that, you know, Fortnite was going to be adding a Battle Royale. Apparently it's going to beat PUBG to consoles and be free to play. So, I guess people who purchased the original Fortnite in anticipation of the Battle Royale mode can receive a refund if you bought it between September 12th and September 19th. So, there's that. But I didn't see it in these screenshots on this one. Yeah, there it is. So it looks like you kind of parachute in, similar to PUBG. So it looks like they're pretty much just ripping off PUBG.
This looks like a cartoon version or variant.
Right. So, I mean, Fortnite was already a thing beforehand, so they just added this Battle Royale mode to it, and, you know, spoofed a lot of the... that was actually kind of cool. Spoofed, I just saw the lightning as you came through the doorway, and spoofed a lot of the PUBG gameplay. So, honestly, they've got some of their own things going on here, which are probably, you know, features of the standard Fortnite. I don't know. I've barely heard of Fortnite. I've definitely never seen or played any of Fortnite before. So
yeah, I'm watching them build and destroy structures.
Right.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah. So
that's the 26th, September 26th,
yeah.
on the Xbox One, PS4, something else, PC. Cool.
Yeah.
I will have to give that a try and do a gameplay of that on my gaming channel.
Yeah. I'm thinking I'll probably check it out too. I need to start putting stuff on Twitch. Maybe I'll finally start streaming something to Twitch.
I gotta get back to Mixer. Yeah. I hear you.
So there's also, I couldn't find the article on it that I saw earlier on Twitter, but there's another indie game developer who is developing a Battle Royale game that's supposed to be a 400 player system instead of the 100 that PUBG uses.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so that's what spurs on the straw poll here. While other games jumping on the Battle Royale bandwagon Oh my goodness. I am so bad at grammar today. It's because I tried to modify the way I said these at the last minute. I didn't proofread them. But will other games jumping on the Battle Royale bandwagon succeed? So our options are yes, it's a simple and fun game mechanic. No, the character of PUBG is what makes it great. And only if they don't suck. So Barry, you want to throw us an answer?
First, I have to point out that
Oh.
Potato has tied with GIF.
Oh, would you look at that?
But will other games in the back? Yeah, I think so. It is a simple and fun game mechanic, but there's a lot of things out there that make them unique.
Right.
There's one that I was watching the other day. It's more of a futuristic battle royale. So I thought that was very interesting, and I was actually very interested in trying it out. Sadly, it's still in a like a closed off setting, and I don't even remember the name of the game.
Yeah.
So
I hate when that happens.
yeah.
You find a cool game and you can't remember what it's called.
So go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but PUBG is very addicting.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I haven't had much time to get into any games here lately, but I
And
need to
very
get back in
adrenaline
that.
pumping too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say only if they don't suck, because Battle Royale is not a new genre. It was not invented by PUBG. I mean, there's Quake Arena. It's been around forever. Games have been doing this forever, so it's not anything special about PUBG. Not that PUBG is not good, but it's not something special about PUBG that makes Battle Royale fun. It's Battle Royale, the implementation, the game mechanics, and what the developer can bring to the table to make it entertaining.
Right.
So, all right, and on to some more PUBG. The next article here, and I don't remember if I added. Oh, you know what? I didn't add that straw poll. Crap. Hold on, let me go grab that straw poll really quickly because I accidentally clicked off of
Oh,
it.
you never shared that with people?
No, not that last one. I
Oh.
don't think I did. I'm slacking. It's almost 10. I'm getting tired. So that's what we're just on. PC Gamer by Joe Donnelly. They spoke to Brian Green, who is the creator of PUBG. Says he would love to add a single-player campaign to the game. So basically, there's a Reddit AMA, I guess, yesterday with Brendan Green, sorry, with Brendan Green, and he actually, and one of the things they asked, what features would you like to bring to the game? And he said, I would actually love to bring a single-player campaign. We just haven't had time to do that yet. Some of the things that came out was that the new map is also going to include some new vehicles. There's going to be apparently a shout out or a kind of a reference to a some 90s comedy that is like Irish based or something, as I guess Brendan Green is Irish.
I thought he was Russian.
But it definitely says Irish in here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Green doesn't seem like a very Russian name.
No, it doesn't.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
And then there's an update down here at the bottom that says Green reaffirmed on Twitter that while stated there are no present plans to add a single player campaign. So honestly, when I saw this, I was pretty interested in it because I do like the single player campaigns, because it gives you a chance to be able to kind of jump in, get used to the game mechanics and how things work, maybe check out the weapons, get used to how the weapons function and how they fire before you're in a live environment with hundreds of other players. So I would say yes. I love single player campaigns added to MMO games because this is an MMO game.
Mm-hmm.
The other options are, I forgot to go through the options first. No, I play the MMO aspect of the game, or another potato.
Oh, you added a poll to this one too?
Mm-hmm.
Of course you did.
Yep. You sound unimpressed by the polls.
Alright, I picked the last couple first. You get to pick this one first.
I already did.
Oh.
Yes, I love single player campaigns added to MMO games.
Right. Another potato. No, I'm kidding. I think it would be very interesting to see PUBG do a single player.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it working.
Yeah.
I see it being. No, I play for the MMO aspect of the game. And I see that if they were to add a single player, it would probably be like most game developers now, where it's either going to be a DLC that you have to pay for,
Right.
which I mean, it's just going to be an entirely different game if you do it single player. It's not going to be the Battle Royale as you know it.
Right.
So, and why? Is it to add a backstory? Is it to add in what happened
Yeah.
before you all hopped on the plane? I mean, what would be
Yeah.
the
So
point of a single player story to this?
yeah, I think if I remember correctly, and I already closed the article out. If I remember correctly, he does mention somewhere in there that that he likes the idea of adding a single player campaign to flesh out the story of kind of why you're in the situation you are in
Hmm.
the game, why you're in this battle royale on this island. So
Right.
yeah.
This is a three-way tie. Yes, potato, no. How's the potato thing over here going? Okay, cool. So, you know, it is what it is.
All right, so that's the last poll for the night.
Okay.
I think the last two were your topics here.
I think they are. Oh, we
I
never
really like
actually fully talked
this.
about the Vive being a standalone.
Yeah, because I haven't really read through the article,
Hmm.
and it was a few days ago when I read about it, so I don't really remember any details. I don't think this will be coming out anytime soon. I know it's going to run a
No.
Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 VR processor. Um,
It just says later this year. No phone, no
yeah,
PC standalone.
yeah.
By the way,
So,
later this year means within the next 3 months.
right, yeah. Um, so yeah, it's going to be running a Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 VR, running the Google Daydream VR platform. So, should be interesting. I don't know. The only thing is, like, I don't know how much like our audience would care about that because this is going to be more like mobile VR
Hmm.
than desktop VR. I think this would be more interesting if it was like I'd mentioned earlier. I think this would be much more interesting if it was more of a AR product to kind of compete
Yes,
with more of like the HoloLens.
exactly.
Um, I think that'd be more interesting. But
I would be very interested in seeing an AR like this, especially being made by HTC. I
right,
love their Vive, as overpriced as it was, by only a couple $100. Um, but I would love to see an AR made by them,
hmm
because I'm a bit of an HTC fanboy now that I have my Vive. Um, I'm not saying that the Oculus is bad. I enjoyed my experience that I had with the Oculus.
right,
But I just think that HTC is always one step or two steps ahead, and I think them not going AR is going to keep them from being that extra step ahead.
right. Yep. So yeah, there's not a ton of information on it right now. Um, all we know is we'll see it sometime by the
Yeah.
end of the year. If anything, I would guess maybe shortly before Christmas. Hopefully, is what they're targeting. If
Okay.
they're, I mean, there's really no other reason that I can think of that they would be determined to get it out this year. Um,
I'm still trying to figure out how, like, if it doesn't need a PC or a phone and it's a standalone,
right.
how do you get things to it? You know?
Probably it probably just runs like Android, and then you like load up into it, connect it to Wi-Fi. It's kind of like with the with the Hololens. you put it on and you load up into it, and the first thing you have to do is connect it to Wi-Fi,
Right.
and then you log in with the Microsoft account, and then it takes you into the home menu. You can launch Edge, web browse with it, and
Okay.
go and download the stuff. So Dr. Pucci mentioned here, what if they're making AR for their phone like Apple, then sell a headset on the side? So I don't know, not sure I fully understand what he's saying there, but just to be clear, this is a standalone headset, and it's just VR, not going to be AR or anything like that, as far as I know. But it's going to be a standalone device, so that it's actually got its own processor, its own RAM, its own storage, all in a self-contained unit that'll run all the VR applications right there on your head.
Now, unless he's talking about how, the Samsung VR,
Google.
right? The Google VR, where you put it in your head mount and then it becomes
Right.
the only problem with that is when it comes to AR, it needs a couple of different points to hold onto so that everything is augmented properly onto the surfaces as they should be.
So the thing with that is, so iOS 11, with Apple products, there's some AR stuff you can do. I was on the iOS 11 beta, on my iPad Pro 9.7, and there's some AR apps on there that you can do that actually work pretty well. So I think that's maybe I think that's maybe specifically what he's mentioning.
Okay.
So, and there's actually I think there's a couple phones now, and I think one of them's a Lenovo branded phone. But it's basically it's set up with a camera and IR blaster array on the rear, so that it can actually do like super awesome AR type stuff, and it's supposed to be pretty good. Lamar Wilson actually did a video on it.
Okay.
I can't remember what the phone was, and I can't remember what they called the AR tech on the phone now, but yeah, Lamar Wilson did a video on it probably a couple months ago. So.
Okie doke.
Alright, so it's 10:02. I guess we can jump on to your last topic here.
Is that the Cooler Master? Oh yeah, that was the Cooler Master.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, we didn't talk about that yet. So your last two.
Alright. So Cooler Master has come out with this vertical graphics card mount or holder, however you want to say it. So basically, as an overview of it, is you can make your GPU stand vertically. It's pretty simple, actually. All you got to do is remove, let me see here. All you got to do is remove all of the PCI slots on the back, meaning you can have no expansions except for this one graphics card, most likely inside of your ATX system, most likely, not 100% sure. And it, of course, is going to probably have to go on the bottom, is my guess, but I could be wrong. So, and then once it's there, you can then install your card in it. And it's just like a riser, but it has its own mounting system. So, I think that's cool. And it works with all of the master cases that they have. And the reason why that is because the master case series don't have the extra bits of metal that are built onto the case or built into the case, or however you want to put that. So I watched one guy, he literally just took clippers and just clipped off the ends to all of the PCI covers. It was cringing. Just
You was that Salazar or Science Studio?
I can't remember who. It was just
Science
what
Studio.
Are you doing to your Corsair?
I don't remember what case it was on, but Science Studio just did one like that where there's ventilation sometimes you'll have vertical slots built in there, but this one just had the mesh ventilation there, so you just clipped holes in it and then kind of crammed the bracket in there, and then kind of strapped it down. So two things to note here is I don't see a price, so I'd be concerned about how much they're charging for it, and it does not include the riser cable.
It does.
So you'd have to get a.
Does it not?
It says no riser card. It says product name, vertical graphics card holder, parentheses, no riser card, under specifications.
Oh, yeah, it's right there. Wow.
So it's just the bracket and I would be concerned about how much it costs.
I think it comes with certain cases that they have.
Because I feel like I remember this being brought up because I think this released in Europe first, possibly.
I think so.
And there were complaints that, it didn't come with any of the cases, and you had to buy it, and it was, I think, kind of expensive. But yeah. That's the one complaint I have heard about the Master Case series. The Master Series is that, they're customizable, but they have all these accessories, and they all, like, a ton of money.
Yeah.
That's like the one bad thing that I've heard. Wait, you're going to the Iran store? I knew there was something off about you.
What on earth? There's nothing here.
You're not really on the West Coast. You lied to me, Bear. How dare you?
How can there not be an LA? It's like no one is selling it right now.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess
it's a concept right now.
Yeah, no joke.
All right. So that's depressing. But on to much less depressing.
Much less depressing. I love it when
build.
Yeah, I love it when people say, "Hey, I watched your video and I decided I was gonna buy that case." I love that. Because that to me is saying, hey, I'm doing something right, again, just like the 200 subs.
Right.
So this guy went ahead and he bought himself the Rosewell SCM-01, and this was a case that I did a review on a while back. And it is a budget-friendly case that can actually support, some decent hardware inside. So he went ahead and he got this case, and then he threw in a build all of inside of it. So it is a Ryzen 3 1200, 8 gigs of DDR4 Ballistic Sport, 2400 MHz RAM, SFX Radeon RX 460 4 gig, and a 1 terabyte of Western Digital Blue, and a 60 gig Yukon SSD. So, and he threw it all in there.
Oh. Yeah, it's awesome.
So I like getting that, and then I want to share it when I get that. When they reach out to me and they're like, hey, I saw your video, I built in this, and I like to ask, show me pictures. I'd love to see it. I want to share this. So, so this is one of those moments. All right, I'm done.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Because this is what, the second or third time this has happened for you, I think?
Yeah, I think this is my third.
Yeah.
Because the second person actually won the case off of me.
Oh, that's right.
And he shared pictures of what he did with the case and where he placed it. And then the first one was another person who watched one of my builds, and so they bought the case and built it. And so yeah, this is the third time now. So this is something that if this happens more often, I might just do like, I don't know, a monthly video of just me going through builds that other people have made. So.
Yeah. That'd be awesome. I mean, if you get to the point where you get enough, we could talk about them on the stream. And
yeah.
Just do that, once a month on the stream or something. Yeah.
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
Sounds like I need to let you go.
Yeah. It's about 10 after.
Okay. All right.
So I need to go and get off here because I gotta get some sleep for that 4 a.m. wake up tomorrow.
Yeah, so. I hear you.
All right, well, guys, it's been real. Oh, hold on. We didn't do a challenge for next week.
Oh no, we didn't.
Oh, I see what Dr. C's talking about. So, if you look at the stream right now, with us side by side, you have the edge of my printer right here.
Oh.
And the back side of your case connected together. Yeah.
Can I?
Oh, hey, the guy, I think this, Prince,
Hey, it's him, yeah!
Yeah. Sorry if I mispronounced that, Prince, but, yeah. Nikarasu? Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, I got the case to match your. Yeah, so he is the one who we just got done showing off his build.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like I said, I love it when people reach out to me and say, "Hey, I built this after watching your video."
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad that the video was informative to you, because that's my whole goal of my channel, is to help inform people of the cases that they are potentially going to spend money on and buy.
Yeah.
I made a bad purchase. I bought a case. It said it could do X, Y, and Z, but reality
Right.
was it could only do two of those things at a time. So from then forward, I just thought I'd do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it may have changed by now. In my um, one of the early cases I bought for myself when I
Hmm.
first started like building custom PCs
Yeah.
was a Raid Max case, and I'm not sure I'll ever buy a Raid Max case ever again.
Oh, why so?
It was just really poor quality. So, like all the case fans in it slowly died. Like I think it was like within the first year. Like pieces of the interior just started like coming apart. Like it was like terrible. The whole thing just
Interesting.
started like falling apart like within the first year or two.
So I actually had a Raid Max Smilodon, and it was a big case, older case,
Right.
but it was still a good case in my opinion. It was still a decent size. I felt like it was well made. It had fans in it that were still working and running. In fact, I even took one out before I gave the case to a friend of mine. Um, so I just felt it was a good system, and it had been running for like, I don't know, probably 10 years plus.
Yeah.
So I
What would
think it
you say
had
the
two
name of the case?
systems in it. Huh?
What would you say the model name of the case was? Was a Raid Max what?
Smilodon.
Oh, smell it. Okay. So I'm putting in chat the one that I had that was terrible. I actually found it just now on Newegg. I mean, they don't sell it anymore, so you couldn't even buy this one. But this was from several years ago now, I think. But
Okay. He's going to upgrade the
uh,
RAM and card around Christmas, and he wants to go for an RX 570 and 16 gigs of total RAM.
hmm,
And fans dying does,
it's
yeah.
yeah, definitely does.
So I think the
Um,
16 gigs of RAM will definitely help you if you're into gaming, especially if you're gaming things like PUBG or any of the other kind of AAA title games like Call of Duty, Battlefield. I think those
yep.
just work, I think, best bang for your buck at 16 gigs of RAM. Anything above that, you don't really notice much of a difference. So, and the
So
570, I don't know what that is. Is that a 8 gig
uh,
variant?
the RX 570, you can get it in 4 and an 8 gig.
Oh, okay.
There's either variant, if I remember correctly. I think they have a 4 and an 8. Um, So one quick question I did have for Prince here.
Hmm.
Uh, did you do any overclocking on that Ryzen 3 1200? I don't know if you have a A320 or a B350 board in here. I don't see it listed in the specs, but just curious if you have done any overclocking. How much luck you had on the stock cooler?
Oh, right, because you have a Ryzen system.
Hmm? Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Ryzen 3 1200. So I actually really want to do a Ryzen 3 1200 build, but I can't spend that money right now because I'd have to spend like probably another $500 to,
Right.
well, less than that because I have a 1050 Ti I could throw in it. Yeah, but I would still need, yeah, a lot.
Um,
Okay, yeah, so you got the A320, so you can't
yeah.
overclock. Okay,
So,
yeah,
right
still,
here,
yeah. What's up there? Sorry.
I got your case up. I like this style. It's unique. It's different.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
how
That's why
there's.
I got it because I like the white and blue because like I've never been a fan of the black and red.
Mm-hmm.
uh, gaming PCs, and especially like when I got this case, like it was way worse than it is now. Black and red was basically almost all you could find, and they even had a black and red variant of this case. But I went with the white and blue because it was different, and I loved the way it looked.
Right.
But it was like zero cable management, which I mean, this was back in the day when cable management was rare in a case. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was.
I really liked the look of the case. It had like the knobs on the front were, if I remember correctly, they were speed control for the fans.
Uh-huh.
So you actually had like a pretty variable speed control and everything, and yeah, and it had like a little handle on the top, but it was just yeah, like the front piece there, those quick pop out panels for the 5 1/4 bays, those would just like fall off all the time, and just yeah, it had all kinds of
Uh,
issues.
I would really
Uh,
want to try one of these now, just to play with it.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, so Prince City might switch to do an overclock. Definitely it would, you know, it could help later on down the road, but I wouldn't, go out and spend money on it right now. If it's
nah.
not, if you don't see any performance dips from it, I mean, running the 460 right now, you shouldn't have any issues. Even with the 570, I don't know that you would have any issues running anything at stock clocks on that 1200. But yeah, a monochrome build, though, like you just mentioned there, I think would definitely be awesome. So, Prince, I'll show you real quick my build. Right now, I've got the LEDs set to orange. Hopefully, I can't really see what I'm doing. So hopefully I got it
A
lined up
little
there
more
good
to the
to go.
right. I mean, sorry. Yep, there you go.
Left,
No,
up,
no, no.
up, okay. Back here?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, that's my current build right now. Ryzen 5 1600, GTX 1070. Right now I've got the lights set to orange inside of it because I'm feeling orange. But yeah, mostly black and white on the build. GPU I went with silver because it's the closest I could find in a 1070. But yeah, that was before the 1070s got like completely outrageous on pricing. Uh, but yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Dr. Z. Yeah, the tempered glass on this is really nice. The one downside, the only thing I don't like that almost makes me wish I went with like a NZXT 340 Elite
Yeah.
instead of the P400 tempered glass is that the front panel is super restrictive, and so the 240 mil rad doesn't get much airflow. So if I'm doing like a render in Premiere, I mentioned this earlier in the stream, I think, if I'm doing like a render in Premiere, I'll actually pull the front panel, the case off, so that the radiator can breathe, and it'll drop temps by like 10 degrees Celsius easily. So. But yeah, I mean, I can't complain. It's a beast of a build. I love it. So
Yeah.
awesome. Well, guys, it's 10:15. We're already way past
We
our
are.
end point. But it was awesome hanging out with you guys. Dr. Z, as always, love having you around. Prince, welcome aboard. And we definitely want to see you again in the next week's stream. I will be streaming it on my channel next week, TechTube. If you want to check me out,
Yep.
I
We
do
take
some tech
turns.
videos.
Ugh.
I try, and I'm going to try and get better about doing more PC hardware. But,
Compile heart games like Neptunia, Fury
huh,
Fencer, etc. I don't know what those are.
okay. I don't either.
I'll have to look them up.
Yeah. I say I'm about to clip that right now just so I don't forget what those are called.
Oh, good idea.
Awesome. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so again, Dr. Z, Prince, we'll see you in the next video, or in the next stream, or whenever we see you next.
Good night, guys.